Colby, I could tell you about this movie,
Yeah, Barry?
but it'll cost you $3.
What? What? That's highway robbery.
What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who What's going on, guys? How you guys doing today? We are coming towards the end.
Right? We're week 3. We're halfway through. More than halfway through.
Yeah.
Of
Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson, underrated actress extraordinaire. I can't remember what I say each week, so it changes.
Yeah, but the main focal point is Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
And I'm actually pretty surprised at this week's choice because it is really recent.
It is recent, yeah. I didn't even really know about this movie. This came out at a odd time, at the same time as Barbie and Oppenheimer, and it just totally got dwarfed.
Yeah, I mean, one is it's about a historical event, and the other is White Girl, Black Panther. So,
right.
So this one coming out during that, man, I just feel like this studio might be losing their touch. Maybe they're just cranking out so much.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm surprised because usually they're on top of their game for marketing.
Yeah.
But,
right. And they were, I guess they were saying that the timing of it, they were trying to time it with the anniversary of 20 years since the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion came out, and then it was also the 50th anniversary of The Ride, and so they were kind of trying to match it all up to flow, and then it just ended up being
duds.
Just wrong time.
All right, well, if you guys want to figure out what movie we're going to be doing, we got Weird Time. I'm sorry, not Weird Al Time. But this hit came out in 2023.
Ooh,
I picked something that Colby might know.
Okay.
I gotta do it in the voice though. All right. Last night we went to a haunted house. I'm sorry. Can't believe them ghosts done followed me to my domicile. You told me that you wish I was somebody that believed you, but baby, there's some. Oh wait, baby, something telling me these ghosts ain't leaving you. No way, it was our last night fighting ghosts. Hatbox just doing the most. That shouldn't be so close. I wish I was just at bed at home. Ain't no one telling that the hauntings are out of fashion. I guess we'll find out in 2023's Haunted Mansion. Now, from the first line, you should know the song. It is the top hit of 2023 called Last Night by Morgan Wallen. Now, after we do this recording, I'll play the song. I figured you might know it because, Big T from the country. So I was like, oh, maybe she likes country music and maybe Colby's heard this.
But she does like country music, but
right.
I don't know much, so I don't really listen to it with her.
Maybe you'll know from the actual lyrics where it's like, last night we let the liquor talk. I can't remember everything we said, but we said it all.
Maybe. That's hitting some chords.
I always feel like country music, it has the same like tone and the same what is it called, twang.
Yes.
At least the good country music got that twang.
Right, yeah.
But today we're going to be talking about the Disney movie Haunted Mansion, starring Lakeith Stanfield, who is our main character, and Rosario Dawson, who is our other main character. But this is also filled with a lot of heavy hitters like Owen Wilson. Danny DeVito.
And they specifically said that nowhere in this movie does he go, wow.
It's such a shame, you know? Because it's almost like it's his catchphrase.
It is. It really
like,
is.
there was so many moments where you just feel, wow.
Right. Ghosts. Like, that's things moving, floating. Yeah,
Like, okay, the one moment where I was like, all right, he's going to say it here is during, well, like, you know, we're just going to, like, I'm just going to, it's not really a spoiler, but, like, when the house starts closing itself and they make it to the top.
Yeah.
And Owen Wilson was like, wow, what happened? But this movie also has Tiffany Haddish. It also has Danny DeVito. Jared Leto is as our main villain in Crump.
I didn't realize that that's who it was.
Yeah, I think it's just like in the voice. I don't know. Like it didn't even look like him in the ghost form.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, which I feel like is a shame. I mean, Jared Leto's a fairly good-looking man.
Right.
You know, just kind of like, you know, a little too weird.
A little Morbius.
Yeah, but also Jamie Lee Curtis, who I didn't recognize until they went to the flashback. So this movie is jam-packed with stars.
Yeah.
I mean, Lakeith Stanfield is probably like not the youngest one, but like sort of the newer kid on the block.
And let me tell you, knocks it out of the park. He is the by far the star of this.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
Acting wise, like not necessarily biggest role or anything, but just he brings his A game.
Like a lot of his bigger roles have been in like Get Out. I'm Sorry for Bothering You, which is like that indie. Obviously Atlanta for a lot of those Atlanta fans. He's super good in that one. I actually like one of his solo episodes in the Atlanta show. He has an episode where it's just him.
Okay.
And that one is like really good. It's really creepy, and it's like Donald Glover sort of playing this weird Michael Jackson character. I think that's who he's supposed to be, but it was like that one was like probably one of my favorite episodes from that show. That movie, that show is like super like surreal. But yeah, like I was really. All right, you know, like we'll get into my thoughts about this movie. Let's just go straight into talking about it, because I do have some things I wish I like. All right, this movie starts off in a bar, New Orleans. The most unrealistic portion of this movie is that a woman is trying to get a drink at a bar and she's
having trouble. Yes, yeah.
And Lakeith Stanfield, you know, pops up right behind her, and he's like, "You want my drink?" And I was like, "Probably not."
Right? Is this the 70s when that was still okay? Because just insinuating that gets you thrown in jail. You get an overnight in jail for that.
You're like, what did you put in it?
Exactly. Yeah.
No, but like we do find out that it is sort of it's New Year's, and so Lakeith Stanfield is sort of giving off like this awkward riz, as the young kids would say. Just awkward game. That's how I would have said it.
Yeah.
Very shy, sort of, but like they start to get to know each other a little bit in this portion of the movie, where she's like, "Oh, what do you like? Oh, like Keith Stanfield says, like, oh, my friends are behind me and they're oohing and ahhing, aren't they?" But then when you go to the group of tables, I was expecting like other black people. It's Lakeith Stanfield. He's so freaking cool, you know? And it's just like, and then you pan to them and it's a bunch of like nerdy white guys. It's like the cast of Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Right? Because like, okay,
yes.
Be honest with me. When he said his friends were behind him, you weren't picturing those guys.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I was
right.
picturing other just cool black guys. Because Lakeith Stanfield is just so fucking cool, you know? But then she's like...
Yeah, that's the one thing, is that he's trying to play nerd, and it's not. He's still cool.
He's, like, his outfits and everything in this whole movie is cool, but I think he's playing, like, the awkward, like, very introvert portion of it pretty okay.
Right.
But they just can't... You can't dress them up so cool. It's like when Andrew Garfield was trying to play Peter Parker in high school.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you can't be awesome at skateboarding.
It's okay. Sorry, little side story. Not side story, but a little. Used to run a comic book store. You raw regular listeners know that.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, you would get like
Cool Peter Parker.
a really like attractive guy or like a really like jock guy come in and looking at comic books, and you're it's always like you're looking at him and you're like, you're in the wrong spot, guy. Are you buying that for like your kid? Like, is it somebody's birthday?
But that was you in high school.
But
You were a jock.
I was not cool jock. I swam and I wrestled like, had a Letterman jacket, but like.
Well, as long as you had the Letterman
I
jacket on.
Sports that nobody went and saw.
But if you were like just outside with your Letterman jacket, it's like, oh, that's a jock.
That's true.
Yeah.
But they looked at me and they were like, he's a nerd.
Oh, but like, so yeah, you're like, who are you buying this for?
Right, yeah. And then they're like, oh, yeah, no, super big. I've been, Henry Cavill.
Oh.
Like, you see him and you're like,
That's not fair. That's setting a, what's it called, a standard for women, for nerds. It's like, nah, that guy's a unicorn.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Magliano, unicorn.
Right. Exactly. Case in point. That's us here. He turns around to his friends, and they're all the guys who hang out in my comic store, and he's the one who's like, "You're in the wrong spot."
But I know we find out he's an astrophysicist.
Right.
So you're like, oh, it makes sense now. But then she's like, oh, I do ghost tours, and then Lakeith Stanfield, being a science person, is very like. What is it like? Very not judgmental, but very not oh God, what is the word?
Right. He's polite, but it's like skeptical. I guess.
There you go. Yeah. He's a skeptic, you know, and he's also slightly making fun of it. He's like, "Ooh, here's some plasma."
Right, because if you're into science and you're not necessarily into that kind of stuff. And then you go to like New Orleans and somebody's like, "Hey, you want to go on a ghost tour?" You're like, "Oh, scam artist."
But like she takes it and rolls with the punches, and she's like, "Well, what about you? You're looking at dark matter." And she actually, when he goes into a spiel about what he does,
right.
She kind of clears it up, and that's how they get into her being a ghost tour person.
Yeah.
But she takes it pretty well. And they kind of have like this. It's a very adorable little meet cute, And what's it called? The ball is dropping and everything.
Oh yeah.
And so they share the drink, and then all of a sudden we cut to him in the bar by himself.
Some odd years later, sad, depressed, just
really cool dreads.
Oh yes, and he had like a flat top, like a Kid and Play. Kid and Play was an old.
No, he didn't have a flat, but he had a fade.
It was like a fade, the flat top fade, though.
Yeah, but on top was the dreads.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. It wasn't like a dread mullet.
Okay.
That's what you're thinking about. Yeah, no, and Joe Coy's little cameo in here as his barkeep, and he's like, "Are you still running her ghost tours?" And you're like, "What happened?" But he goes outside with his cool glasses.
They're actually really cool glasses.
Yeah, I can't pull that off. My face is too fat. and
Me too. It was always wanted to do the round glasses, and it just doesn't work for me. On the swim team in high school, there was a really cool kid that I wanted to be, and he wore round glasses.
Was he black?
He wasn't.
Oh. All right.
He did have an afro, though. He was a white guy with an afro.
That maybe helps. That helps with the,
But yeah, I always was like, he looks so good in those glasses. I want to do rap, and then it just never worked. And then Harry Potter started wearing them, and I was like, okay, good, an excuse to not wear them.
But I know he heads this little ghost walking tour. But like he's super annoyed at his customers.
Right, and to him it's this like the tour of Atlanta or of New Orleans, and everybody who's going there is like, "Oh, was that place haunted? I heard that place was haunted."
Which, I mean, to be fair, New Orleans is really haunted.
That is the rumor.
Yeah, and especially after the tragedy of Katrina.
Ooh.
That's even more haunted now than before.
Right.
And so, but like he kind of like has like a little breakdown in the middle of this tour, and the patrons shut up a little bit because they're all older people, and then I think they can kind of tell like, oh, there's something that's going on with him.
Right. Yeah.
And it's dripping with a lot of sadness. So let's just do this tour that we paid $50 a person for, and whatever, and then we'll go get wasted afterwards, right? But then all of a sudden we cut to the nighttime, and a truck is hauling a U-Haul to this huge mansion. Mm-hmm. And you're like, who's moving at night?
Yep.
But it's Rosario Dawson and her kid. Was it Travis?
Yep.
And Travis gets into the house first, and he's like coughing, and it's like dilapidated at this point. But ghost activity starts right away.
Oh yeah, right.
And at first, Travis is like, "Mom, we gotta leave. It's haunted." And Rosario Dawson is like,
"Yeah," because of course he's a kid, so he sees it first.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Nope." And then she's like, "No, go upstairs, pick your room."
Yeah, and then all of a sudden the ghost armor shows up behind Travis, and she's like, "Oh no!"
Yep.
And they end up hauling ass out of this mansion, and then all of a sudden a ghost with a lantern pops up, and he's like, "You'll be back soon." And then we cut back to Lakeith Stanfield being woken up.
Right.
But he does say, like, "Oh, Alyssa, give me some time." And he kind of wakes up from him hearing himself say that. So it's like, oh, she must be... At least I thought, she was like, oh, she must be dead.
Yes.
Because, no, like, if broken up, fine, you wouldn't be holding her ghost tours.
Right, yes.
But, like...
No, I totally took that she was dead.
Not around anymore. But then all of a sudden... they get woken up by, like, what I believe is, like, neighbors or something, and it's Owen Wilson in a priest uniform.
Right.
In a habit. I think that's what they're called for... Or is that for just nuns? I should know this.
Nun is a habit? Right, yes.
Yeah, I should know this. But, yeah, no, he's in his uniform, and he's like, "Hey, man, you want to make some money?" He's like, "Ghosts aren't real. All right, they're not." Because, like, come on, man. I was, like, trying to practice that. I was like, I can't get the whole thing. But he's like, you're astrophysicist. I heard you created a camera that can capture ghosts. And he's like, ghosts aren't real. All right?
And he's like, that's fine. Just bring your camera, take a few pictures. We
It's an hour away.
Yeah, we could tell him that, the house is clear. We're done.
And he's like, "I'm not driving anywhere for an hour." And he's like, "What about for $2,000? And he's like, "What's the address?" Little funny moment. He was just like, "Don't worry. I like money too, but don't tell the big guy upstairs." He doesn't get it down here. So Lakeith, he goes. I believe his name is Ben. Oh, Ben. That's his name in the movie. Ben goes to the mansion, and Rosario Dawson opens up, and before he steps in, she's like, "Wait. Before you step in,
yeah,
this will change your life."
Yeah,
absolutely. And he's like, "Okay," and kind of a dick.
Right. Yes.
Very jaded.
Yeah.
Like he's a very jaded person, and like he brings his camera, but like I believe the batteries were dead.
The battery's dead, so he's just fake picture taking. He's like, chick, chick.
I would have decked him in the face. I would have been so pissed because like Rosario Dawson is trying to explain everything that's happening, but he's 100% not believing it. He's fake taking photos. And obviously, the both mother and son know that he's not even trying to take photos.
Right, yeah.
And he's like, "All right, well, no ghosts. I didn't see anything." But sorry, before he does step in, also before the whole spiel, he does give her $2,000. And he's like, "I don't know if I could take this." And she's like, "No, I insist." She's like, "It's just a lot of money." He's like, "Well, I just want you to know what you're getting into.
Right. Yeah.
And so, obviously, I would have been super pissed if I gave this guy $2,000 and he just fakes take photos. But he ends up like leaving, and then when he gets back to the house, a lot of strange things start happening.
Right. Yeah.
Like footprints.
Oh, and so when he's walking around the house, the one of the pictures he's very intrigued of is a
captain.
Like a boat captain.
Yeah, like a Long John Silver's kind of portrait photo. And so when he goes home, something wet keeps following him around, and then he's like, hold on, let me try to take a photo. Takes a photo in his house. Yeah. And it's sitting in his couch. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so, like, at first he's like, he tries to put it out of his mind.
Yeah, he's like, nope, it's a reflection. Let me close the curtains. We'll do this again.
And it's still there.
Yeah.
And he tries to go to sleep, but then his sleep is, like, interrupted by, like, him dimension hopping into, like, the ocean. It's crazy. It's like 2 a.m. So he freaks out. He goes back to the house. Rosario, Dawson, and the son are outside waiting for him.
Yeah.
She's like, go get the blankets. And then so he goes inside. And he's like, why didn't you tell me?
She's like, I tried to.
Yeah. And she's like, and I would feel bad, but you took $2,000 from me and then didn't even try.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Owen Wilson comes up and like, I told you wanted to be. I asked you if you wanted to be a hero, because that was his spiel, right? He's like, hey, do you want to be a hero? You want to be a hero,
right? And
he was like, oh, you con artist, and he was like, no, I'm not a con artist. Yeah.
He's like, I was just here first to do an exorcism, and now I'm stuck here too.
He's like, I just thought like maybe if we got your camera, that we would know what we're up against.
Yep.
And so now they're like, he's like, well, fudge. But Owen Wilson, he says he hears about a professor who had written. Well, they have a night in the mansion. Yeah. And now it's like super fucking clear that there's ghosts here.
Oh yeah, like making omelets with them in the morning, and yeah,
like even at night, like the first night it's like the Fantasia, all these like utensils and stuff were like dancing by themselves, and so now like Owen Wilson is like, we gotta assemble a dream team. Ben is like, I don't think you can say that. That's taken already. So, but they're like, I know about a professor who had written a book about this place. Let's go meet up with him. They meet up with Danny DeVito.
Right, because they can get out of the house during the day, but the ghosts bring them back at night.
Yeah, the power of the ghosts run rampant at midnight.
Yes.
But like they're talking to Danny DeVito, and he's like, he has all this information on the house, and he's like, what? Sorry, I can't do the Danny DeVito. But he's like, I want to go to the house. And he's like, no, you can't come to the house.
Well, no, at first they're like, yeah. And then he's like, yeah, because I want to see this house because next week I go in for heart surgery. And they're like, oh, no, you can't come to the house.
Right. But so they end up stealing his material. And he's like, I'm going to get to that house. And they also assemble... what's her face? Tiffany Haddish, who is a medium, I believe is like Harriet. And at first they're kind of like, okay, this lady's kind of like whatever, because she's like, oh, you know, a Gary or something. She starts naming Lakeith. Ben is just like, all right, now you're just saying names with G. Yeah. But then she's like, wait, no. And then Owen Wilson tries to play it off. He's like, I do have a cousin Gary, you know? And she's like, no, you're lying. Is it Gabby? And then that's where like, oh, maybe she does have the touch. Is that what they call it? The touch? I don't think they should call it that anymore. Who's touching you?
What do they call them? The Shining. It's
The Shine.
The Shine. Yeah. Well, right.
Well, no. To be fair, across the Stephen King universe, it is just called The Shine. The Shining is just where it's like, oh yeah. In your face. Okay. But no, and so they bring Harriet there, and she's like kind of making this whole grand entrance. He's hamming it up.
Yep.
You can kind of tell, but then she starts to try to do like a little seance. And at first, like, when they start to do the seance, she's like, "Here's my pen and pad that I purchased from CVS." And like a ghost does come and says, "Talk to Loretta."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh," and Ben is like, "Oh, I guess you do have the shine."
Right. Yep.
And then they start to try to conjure something more. They try to conjure Loretta, but then oh no, wait, I'm sorry, no, this was no. So before she does do a little round of the house,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Ooh, all right, I'll be back." And then she also comes back in the middle of the night before they do the seance, and she's like, "Why didn't y'all tell me that a ghost is gonna follow me home? This is crazy." It's funny when you're on the other side.
Yes, yeah.
And so yeah, no, they do the seance and everything, but then when they find the whole Loretta thing, they get kicked out of the house.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Bruce, who's Danny DeVito, comes like a bat out of hell, because I'm gonna get to this house. And he walks into the house and is automatically swept away by a love chair.
Which looks a lot like the little carts that you are on the ride. The Haunted Mansion ride.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to be like, it looks like the seat from the duck that he was driving during Batman.
That too, yes. That too. It's also a ride. Yep.
Okay, but they end up going to the hospital. And because Danny DeVito has a heart issue.
Right.
The hospital starts to get haunted, and they're like, "Oh no, he can't stay here past midnight." So they bring him back to the house, and they're trying to come up with this plan. And so they're like, "All right, well," they end up going to the attic to look for something on Loretta.
Right.
Which they do. Lakeith Stanfield goes in there, and he almost gets attacked by a bride with the axe.
Yep.
Right. But they're able to get a chest out there, which holds the book of Loretta, which has all her incantations and all that stuff, and also houses this huge crystal ball with Loretta in it, played by Jamie Lee Curtis.
Right.
And she's like, "Oh," she's like, "We saw you." And she's like, "Yeah," and this is where we get the line from the opening where she's like, "I'll tell you for $3 whole."
Right, because she was...
Like from the 40s?
She was, killed and put into... Not killed, maybe, whatever. Yeah, it must have been killed. And put into the crystal ball. Trapped in the crystal ball.
Was it killed? I guess so, yeah. She's like, "I must have been in here for months." And they're like,
Yeah.
months, decades, no diff.
And then that they kind of come across where that's where they come up with the idea that there's 1,000, like if 1,000 people die in this, then at that point, right? Don't they think it's the guy who was looking for his wife?
Yeah. She does do. No, well, she does do. Oh yeah, maybe. I can't remember. Sorry, this movie kind of moves pretty fast.
Yeah.
But yeah. So let's just they do get a whole backstory of how all these ghosts got stuck in here.
Right.
Because of Gracie, who was trying to find his wife, Lorena.
Yeah.
Or something, Lorna, or whatever. And he just kept doing seance after seance, and she was like, "We have to stop. There's too many ghosts here. They're conjugated here."
Right, because they were doing a seance every single night, every night.
Yeah.
It was like pulling another ghost into the house.
Yeah, and like, you never know when you can pull something bad.
Right.
Which they end up pulling something bad, and ends up having, Gracie kill himself. Because like the ghost had faked the voice of his dead wife, and she's like, "I want you to come here."
Right.
Come here. No, but so they end up like, "Hey, we gotta call. They have to sleep." Lakeith Stanfield is stuck between two snorers. One is the obvious snorer. One is a surprise. I'll let you guess which one is the surprise, and which one is not. But Lakeith Stanfield ends up waking up in the middle of the night by a man with the lantern, and he's like, "Burn." and he has this bad nightmare.
Yep.
And all these ghosts are like, "Hey, can you take us to the region beyond?" Or because that's where you're going soon. And he ends up having a nightmare about his wife. They end up waking him up at like 4 or 5 in the morning because Bruce is missing, and I think he just went to go use the restroom or something.
Right. Just wandering the house or something.
But yeah, the next morning they end up trying to.
Oh yeah. Okay, so the crystal ball says that 900 people have been killed, or 933 have been killed, but that was when she became the crystal ball and got tucked away, and that's Bruce is like, hey, I have a record of 66 people, so we're actually at 999. So one more person dies, and now they're like, oh my goodness, Bruce is gonna die because he's
gonna have a heart attack.
He's gonna have a heart attack.
Oh no! Oh yeah. No, but oh yeah. Okay. All right. No, that's okay. So in the morning they do end up having like a little team powwow.
Yeah.
Rosario Dawson cannot make the scrambled eggs because the ghosts keep fucking with her. She's like, here you go, have it. It's a little crunchy. Pick out the shells and everything. And
that was so funny. She was all like, oh yeah, it's crunchy eggs like my grandma used to make.
But Rosario Dawson has a moment with Ben. And, Travis is outside. He's playing with his toys.
Right.
And Ben is like, hey, let me go talk to him. And he comes in with, a Action Man, which is a action figure that he was talking about when they first met. And they have, a very cute moment, you know. And, what's it called? Travis, divulges, yeah, I still talk to my dad. He wants me to come visit him and all that stuff. But I feel like that would make my mom really sad. And,
right.
They have, this, really cute moment with each other. Meanwhile, Harriet, Owen Wilson, and Bruce are kind of having their own thing, but Harriet does find out we could do a banishment spell, but we need something from the person.
Right. Yeah.
But they're like, we don't know who it is, and so they end up doing a reverse seance, which I don't know. I think it's still astral projection, but when they go to Loretta's book, it's called reverse seance. So Lakeith Stanfield's I don't know, man. But she's also from the 40s, so astral projection maybe not have been a word.
Right. Could be.
Right? Could be. So they have to do this in order to find out what this main ghost looks like. Because Owen Wilson's like, what? A ghost that haunts other ghosts? That's just not fair. And so...
and you could tell because when it gets to midnight, all of a sudden, the other ghosts start getting scared. They're like, "Oh my god, he's coming!" And they run and they hide and stuff.
Well, no, that's during the reverse seance. So they do the reverse seance, and Harriet's being super funny. She's like, "I gotta be really raw about this. Here's my dead dog," and so they start to do it. But then Lakeith Stanfield has been grieving his wife.
Right.
And so he ends up astral projecting instead of Harriet.
Right, yeah.
And that's when, he goes, he makes the rounds throughout the house, which now the house is like a Rorschach painting.
Yes.
It's like
the upside down stairs, and yeah.
It's like a fun house. And he's like, yeah, and this is where, he sees all the ghosts just kind of, living in this ghost realm. But then as soon as midnight clocks, all the ghosts, this is where the ghosts go and hide. One goes even into a candle.
Right. And becomes Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast.
Lakeith tries to use it, and he's blowing the candy. The candle's blowing himself out. But this is where Lakeith Stanfield and Crump, who we don't know is Crump yet, have the first meeting.
Yeah. And
so Lakeith Stanfield ends up jumping back into his body only after another ghost jumps into his body. But Harriet uses the sage and vanishes.
The Hatchet Man, or. Is that what they?
Oh, I don't. Yeah, maybe.
I think that's what they call him because he always carries the axe.
Oh yeah. And so, but no, Harriet kind of gets him out of there with the sage and the bell, because the bell is what they needed to use as an indicator. It's you've seen it.
He said, "Here's the bell. So if I match astral projecting and I can't make it back to my body, you ring the bell, and that way I can find my way home," kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And so, what's it called? Harriet is super, it was funny because, during the whole thing, she's like, the ghost realm isn't just really nice to me today. They won't let me astral project. And Ben ends up astral projecting, and he was like kind of talking about his experience and everything. And then like Harry's just mad in the back, and Keith is like, "You probably done this like thousands of times." She's like, "Mm-hmm."
Tens of thousands of times.
Bruce is like, "Nah, I don't want to believe you." But this is where we find out that Ben tells a story about how his wife had died.
Yeah.
Super. This is probably like the best out. This and like parts of Travis acting as the young kid.
Yeah.
Is really good as well. But like he did this whole thing where he's like, my wife, she was like, beautiful. She made everybody around her feel welcome and loved and everything. But like she was like the type of person that's like, let's start running while eating a Philly cheesesteak. And she's like, and one day she wanted to go out for some tater tots, but I was just so busy. I was just so busy with everything, and then I kind of took my frustration out on her.
Yeah.
And so like she ends up, she leaves and she goes to get tater tots, and then she goes to get ice cream, and then she gets into an accident.
Yeah.
Super well acted. And then Danny DeVito's like, Jesus, what's this woman's cholesterol like? Just like a good moment.
Cheesesteaks, tater tots, and ice cream. If the accident didn't kill her, something else would have.
Yeah. But it breaks the tension
and
everything, and I forgot to mention, maybe it was during the seance because Lakeith Stanfield tries to ask Harriet to try to contact his wife, and Harriet's just like, oh, she's just not here. And then so she does explain, like, like a little Venn diagram, like this is the real world, this is their world, and this is the world between where like ghosts and humans can interact with each other.
Right.
Your wife must be in the region beyond, which means she's at peace.
Yeah.
And I think you should be happy for that she's, at peace and not stuck here and all that stuff. And then she tells her, like, my dad, loved trains. He would like break them down, put them back together. And when I'm just having like my low lows, sometimes I'll hear a train in the distance and I feel like that's my dad talking to me, and I call that like a ghost wink.
Ghost wink.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it kind of calms like Lakeith down as well, and that's like, that's when he tells the whole story about like the cheesesteaks and the tater tots and all that stuff because his wife loved tater tots. But no, and so this is where like they find out for the banishment spell from Harriet talk to Loretta that they need something from the person, but they still trying to identify this person. So Bruce is like, I got an idea. They go to the police station and get a sketch artist, and it's like it was like Hassan Minaj, I think that the comedian, and they're trying to describe it, and he's like, oh, he has no nose. He's like, what?
Of course he has no nose.
Yeah, he's like, what about his lips? Oh, why would he have lips? And he pulls out the sketch, and it's a really good sketch.
And it's exactly like the sketch from.
He's like, all right, now how about with some skin? I was like, yo, what is happening? But he ends up getting it, and it's like it's a good enough sketch where Bruce is able to find out who this person is from history.
Right.
And it's Crump, who was a child of this realtor tycoon he got kicked out when he was a kid, but then he came back wealthy after his father had died. He got kicked out because he was crying at his mom's funeral.
Yeah.
So he comes back after his father died to take back the estate. He's having these lavish parties, but then people of the high society kept disappearing, and he was like, he had to do it because of his dark magic to keep his wealth up, keep his money up, and all that stuff. And so now they have a person, and then like Rosario Dawson's like, his home is considered a historic monument.
Yep.
And they do tours. It's a B&B. So maybe you guys can go there, find something of his, so we can use it for the banishment spell. So they end up going. They end up going with him and Owen Wilson. End up going. Bruce, Rosario Dawson, Harriet and Travis. They bring Travis.
Yep. And they
The
accidentally bring the
some ghosts.
some ghost.
Yeah.
The sea captain.
And I think two other, but then like something kind of is up at the house with Bruce, but then we do follow Ben for the most portion of this, but we know something's about to happen to the two other women, because it looks like Bruce got possessed. But no, they go to the house and like Keith Stanfield the whole time is like, "Is that Crumps?" I was like, and the tour guide is Winona Ryder.
Oh yeah.
He's like, is that Crump's cane? He's like, that's my cane for reasons I don't want to talk about. Super annoying this whole tour, and then like before they get to the end of the tour, and he's like, "Oh, nobody's leaving. There's been a murder."
Right, and it's Schitt's Creek Levy.
Yeah, Schitt's Creek guy, the son.
Yeah.
But in front of Ben is two older people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you guys didn't know they never found his head. Yeah. He was headless.
Right.
So it's somewhere in this house." And so they're like, "Okay." So they have a plan. They're like, his head has to be here.
Right.
So what's it called? Ben, Owen Wilson, and Travis go into the bathroom, and they actually kind of negotiate with the sea captain because it's been following them.
Yes.
And so like they turn on the steam, and then the sea captain is like,
that's right. Yeah, they're writing messages to each other in the mirror.
Yeah, well, the sea captain is writing messages to them, and he's like, what do you want? Like, I want you to take me to the sea.
Yeah. They're like, of course, we can do that.
You help us do this, we free you, and then we'll take you to the sea.
Yeah.
And so he's like, all right, well, follow me. And they follow him to the secret passage that only Travis can get into.
Right, because it's small.
and they're like, you don't have to, but you have to. And Travis ends up finding the decapitated head and top hat of Crump.
Right, and because underneath the house, there's like this whole graveyard.
Yeah. I don't want to sleep underneath on top of that.
Right.
That's how Poltergeist started. But no, they find the top hat and they end up leaving. They end up getting some like Burger King or something like that. And almost like, oh man, it's your tater tots. It must be a ghost wink. So I was gonna say hoodwink. Must be a ghost wink. And he's like, that's my jalapeno peppers, man. Give me that. They get to the house and they run into Bruce, and he's like, where's Harriet and Rosario Dawson? He's like, oh, Harriet found some sort of passage, and we cleared out all the ghosts, and it's safe now.
Yep, it's all over. You guys are too late.
Yeah. And so Ben is like, let me go find them. Meanwhile, Owen Wilson has the top. Oh, they leave the kid in the car because it's too dangerous. Stay in the car.
Right, yeah.
And the kid is like, I'll just try to talk to my dad. You're like, okay, I didn't see a cell phone on you, but all right, kid. But he pulls out a pen and paper, and you're like, oh, dad is dead. It's a ghost.
Yeah.
And but no, so Owen Wilson has the hat on him, and Danny DeVito is like, oh yeah, so since the ghost is gone, let me see that top hat real quick. And Owen Wilson's like, no, it's just a. Oh, sorry. Before they go into the house, we find out that Owen Wilson is not a priest. He works at a costume store.
Right.
And he's like, I just put this on so I can make some extra scratch on the side. It's like, dude,
I do fake exorcisms.
Yeah, fakeisms. Oh man, but no, like Keith is like, now he's giving him his pep talk. He's like, you want to be a hero, right? And he's, oh, that's not fair. That's my words.
You can't use my words against me.
But like Keith is like, you made me believe in something. So I gotta make you believe in you.
Yeah.
That you could do more than just be a con artist. And so like Owen Wilson and Danny DeVito are having this like little standoff until, obviously we find out that Danny DeVito is possessed.
Yep.
But the ghost that's inside of Danny DeVito is able to conjure up more ghosts.
Well, right, because he kind of controls them because they're all scared of him.
Yeah, and he's able to get the hat and sort of keep it away, burning it like slowly.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ben finds Rosario Dawson and Harriet Harriet goes to Loretta to try to get like some backup for the banishment spell, because she's like, oh no, like, does she get the hat? She tries to banish him, right? But she's not powerful enough. So that's when like she does go get Loretta. This is kind of like messy at this point, right?
Because there's a ton of stuff going on. There's like 5 different stories, kind of ghosts chasing everybody.
Yeah, like Owen Wilson ends up having to run away because all the more deadlier ghosts are chasing after him.
Yep.
Danny DeVito's kind of laid out on the floor because of the ghost possession. Travis, we do find out that the main ghost Crump is actually after Travis because Lakeith Stanfield's trying to talk to Rosario Dawson, and he's like, no, Travis is talking to his dad, and she's like, Ben, he can't talk to his dad is dead.
Right. Yeah.
Talk to a ghost, man. And he's like, oh no.
And it's a good twist because, like, you really didn't, like you said, until like the car ride home when he's like
pulls out the book.
You don't know you just assume it's a divorce.
Yeah.
Not a passing.
Yeah. And so like now Lakeith.
So sorry, spoiler.
So Lakeith has to go after Travis. Meanwhile, Rosario Dawson, I think, is trying to help somebody.
Right, because they're also the ghost has to, or the person has to be willing.
Oh yeah, the sea captain says the participant has to be willing to be the last or like had to have been willing the whole time or something for all these other ghosts.
Right.
You know, not the ones that he killed, but like after that. You know what I mean?
And so you're thinking that that he's, because his wife died, that he's willing to,
follow.
Yeah, if he can see her again, it's,
Yeah, to make that deal.
Right. So
but then Travis is also wanting to see his dad.
Yeah.
And so like Lakeith has to go after Travis, and he ends up, he's like, "Come on, Travis, like that's not your dad." And the ghost is like, "He's not your dad, Travis. Come to your father." And he's like, "You just gonna make your mom real sad." And he's able to bring Travis back.
Right.
And all that stuff. And then he meets up with Rosario Dawson again. Meanwhile, Owen Wilson is finally confronting the ghost after running around in circles. He's like, "You guys want to be on the losing side forever? We can finally turn this around." But no, like Lakeith Stanfield, Rosario Dawson, and Travis end up going outside. They get blocked by Crump, and Crump is like, "I'm gonna haunt these people forever, Ben, unless you come to me."
Yeah. And
so the ground kind of like breaks up a part of them. Rosario Dawson is trying to tell Ben no, but he's like, I can't let him hurt you guys. And all that stuff, which I was like, it never makes any sense for me, because it's like, then he's just going to hurt everybody. You know what I mean? Harriet all of a sudden comes with Loretta, who is now out of her crystal ball.
Out of the crystal ball.
Danny DeVito wakes up, grabs a piece of the unburnt hat.
Right, the last little piece of it.
And starts running, but then he kind of gets like attacked by these ghosts. Owen Wilson comes with his little ghost cavalry, and they have like it's like an Avenger level Endgame situation. Get the gauntlet.
Yeah. Yep.
Situation. And Crump is about to stop them, but Lakeith is like, "Whoa, hold on, man. I'm willing. Let's go." And we, it's a little moment here. Ben is like, "Oh no, yeah." Like Crump is like, "You don't have anyone left," but he's like, "Yeah, but I have people that aren't willing to let me go, so I can't." And then Loretta's able to get the piece of the hat because Travis goes and grabs it like Peter Parker during Endgame. And gives it to Harriet, and she starts the banishment spell, and so it gives him enough time to start to banish Crump, and he's like, "Do it again," and he's like, "No, Ben, don't you want to come with me to see Alyssa, to tell her you love her?" And he's like, Ben is like, he kind of comes to peace with everything, and he's like, she knows, she knows that I love her,
right? Yeah.
And he's like, again, and he's like, "Banish," and he kicks him in the face, which I was like, "You gotta be careful. What if he grabbed you?" Right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right.
But no, Crump ends up falling into the abyss, into the underworld without him, and the everything starts to like piece itself back together, and everyone's celebrating, and Owen Wilson's like, "All right, you guys are all free. Get out of here. Disperse."
And they're all like, "Yay! We have our house back."
It's a ghost house.
Say, nobody's haunting us. So, yeah.
This is our, we got the house back. But they get back into the house and like nobody wants to leave. Loretta doesn't even want to leave. She's like, it's actually quite roomy in my crystal ball. and Rosario Dawson is like, oh, I guess we could just move. And Travis is like, well, someone has to watch them too. You know?
Right.
And so they end up, a couple months later goes by, and Lakeith Stanfield meets up with Owen Wilson. He has a whole bunch of like Alyssa's stuff, and he ends up like donating it. Yeah. To try to like, obviously it's not forgetting her, but it's just like helping him move on.
Yeah, right. Right. A little closure.
Owen Wilson's like, oh, the women in my parish will love it. And he's like, you don't have a parish. Like, I just like to donate. He ends up dressing up pretty fancy, and what's it called? Oh no, sorry. Before that, they end up getting the sea captain a boat, yes, which I think he steals. Yeah. But Travis is now he's all dressed up like Lakeith Stanfield in this with a little bomber jacket, little hat to the side, little cool guy. But no, and then they end up having like this little party. Lakeith Stanfield comes with like roses. And then Rosario Dawson says, well, before you come in here, I just got to say, if you step in here, it's going to change your life. And I was like, oh, that just means now they're fucking. No, now they're possibly going to start a relationship. Right. Rosario Dawson was a doctor before this, but now she's a part of New Orleans hospital. Right. And Travis,
and they make so much money off of renting out the extra rooms as an Airbnb because you could be like $1,000 a night to stay in a haunted house, and people would do it.
Oh my gosh, yes. And what's it called? Travis is now kind of like adjusting to life in New Orleans. He's vice president of his class or something like that, and the whole gang is there. Right. And they're having like this ball for just them and a whole bunch of ghosts. And the movie ends.
Well, no, it's still the cat.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so like after he donates all this stuff to Owen Wilson, he's like he sees the cat that Owen Wilson had at the beginning. And he's like, I just picked this up from your front porch. Yeah, and he's like, oh, it's the same cat. And he looks at the cat tag.
And his name is Tater Tot.
Yeah, it's a little ghost wink.
Little ghost wink. Wink, wink.
And no, but the movie just ends over there. Before we get to thinking about our thoughts about this movie, let's get into our other section where we have high star, low star.
10 out of 10. Fun, fun, fun. As avid Disney park fans, this was super fun. Story plot had a good message, casting was just right, and most importantly, the film stayed true to the ride, as we all know and love. I was a little nervous Disney would try to force another love story or a love story line, but instead they ventured into chosen families and the surprises instead when you venture into the unknown. To those reviews who are saying it's predictable or bad, must be looking way too into this film. Me and the reading. This wasn't supposed to be a cinematic masterpiece, but something families could all enjoy. Would definitely see again. If you're a Disney park fan, for sure a must-see.
And then we have a 1 out of 10. Unfortunate, could have been good. Poor follow through. Like they dumped the puzzle pieces out of the box but didn't assemble it. All the elements were there for a surprisingly good story, but they clearly rushed to put it together. The interpersonal relationship development was solid, but the emotional relationships development felt forced and awkward. The setup for the house and villain origin stories were glossed over and showed no connection. If they kept the main characters and worked more on why they'd have a great story. Instead, it felt sloppy and scattered. Too many characters introduced that ate into the plot development time. Again, all the pieces were there for a solid movie. They completely botched the execution. I could see that. This is what I really wanted to say at the beginning of the movie, or beginning of the podcast, was I felt like this probably would have been a lot better as a series.
Totally. I could totally see that.
Because I had to watch it twice, because I was like, man, it felt like it didn't feel like it was dragging, It was weird. It felt like it was dragging, but it was rushing at the same time. For me, just
Okay.
because, yeah, like it said, there's so many characters introduced, like all at once,
Right.
and then a lot of the more interesting lore portions of it were glossed over.
So it is reading the 10 out of 10 and the 1 out of 10. I didn't even think about this, but like they explained in their little synopsis there the difference.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 was a Disney park super fan. So they had been on the ride a bunch of times. They already knew the lore of the. So they had already watched the backstory. I air quoted around my microphone. They already knew they already had watched the backstory movies.
Yeah.
They didn't watch the individual movies, and now this was the Avengers.
Yeah, that's true.
Where the other person was like, first movie I'm watching is Avengers. Who the hell are all these people? Why is it Iron Man and Captain America fighting? I don't understand.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
I think the one way they could have sort of mitigated the whole character introduction is if Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, and Harriet were already a team. You know, just because in the Insidious thing where they bring in what's her the lady who
Right.
eventually becomes the face of that franchise.
Yeah.
And her little squad of ghost adventure guys.
Right. Or like Poltergeist, where you
Yeah.
feel the little old lady and her team come in to I could totally see.
God, what was
you're
that?
saying.
What was that old lady's line in Poltergeist? This house is now clean, or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, she was so good. She was always that role in the early in the '80s movies. Damn, I'm trying to remember that line. But yeah, no, I think the way they could have mitigated the whole character introduction if Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, and Harriet were already an established team. That way you can kind of gloss over their whole dynamic.
Right.
And all that stuff, and then maybe would have been able to spend a little bit more time on either the lore of the story for people who just went to Disneyland as kids and not as adults. I'm sorry, listen. One thing I have to say about this whole Disney adult thing: those parks aren't meant for you.
They are.
They're meant for children. It's just
children of all ages.
Oh God. This is why these rides you have to go to Disney or these parks multiple times in a week just to try to ride everything. If you don't have the fast passes.
That is true. Yeah.
And even the fast passes now have an hour long still. I forgot who I was talking to about this, but they're just why is there so many freaking adults at Disneyland? No kids or anything. Jeez.
Okay, total side story here again. But I had a trip planned to go to Disneyland, and then 9/11 happened. so that's how old I am. And our trip was maybe about 3.5 weeks after 9/11, and so of course the week after 9/11, every major attraction is closed.
Yeah.
Every ballpark, football stadium, and every concert's canceled. Anywhere there's a group of people, they're like, oh, it's going to get bombed.
Yeah.
But then it opened back up. And we were like, well, we already have a hotel booked. We already planning this trip. We've already asked time off of work. Might as well go. Nobody there.
Oh, you're like a tragedy tourist.
Nobody there. It was you walked up and you had to just wait for the ride to end, and then you got on.
That's like tragedy tourism. Have you heard of that?
No.
There's a guy who he's if there's tragedy in an area, I'll book a flight there because the flights are so cheap, and the hotels are so cheap.
No joke. I hate to say it, but yeah,
it's like Evil Genius.
You a month after a tragedy, you go visit, and it's Disneyland was never so beautiful.
no lines or anything. No, but yeah, like I think this would have been, I think, a really good Disney show. You would have been able to stretch it out for 8 episodes or something like that.
Right.
8 45-minute episodes would have given time to really develop. It's either a TV show or a trilogy, which I don't know if it was going to be strong enough to warrant a trilogy.
I feel like a season of a TV show
Would have been really, especially with this cast.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, come on, guys. 8 45-minute episodes. You know, there's people out there that are doing 26 episodes a year. Right. Look at Supernatural. Those guys ran for 15. Look at Grey's Anatomy. They're still going.
Yeah.
Who else is there to fuck in that show? But yeah, no, I think yeah, like I could see the 1 out of 10 because of the rush.
Yeah. Because there was a lot of little homage things, like they went up in the attic, and then there was the bride killer, and that was 100%, didn't need to be there. It was 100% like, here's 3 minutes just for the fans of the ride.
Yeah, this is really for the
hitchhiking
people.
Ghosts were like, we're gonna show them for the
for the people that love the ride.
Yeah.
You know, guy with the ghost dog. I don't know if that's a character, but I've been to like Disneyland maybe like twice.
Oh yeah, no, it was a little stint where that was the vacation. It was like I had at the comic store, and we got like season pass to Disneyland, and it was I could just take 2 days off. We could just drive up early in the morning, do one park on
Disney and Disney California.
Yeah, it would be like do one park on Sunday, one park on Monday, be back to work on Tuesday. It was a great getaway, like totally clear your mind.
You just clear out the cobwebs and all that stuff. Yeah, no,
we did it like once a month.
I dread it
for a year.
I've dreaded it. You know, when I was living in California, I dreaded family coming over because like, we're gonna go to Disneyland. I'm like, oh god. Even Disney, I was like, I can't imagine even wanting to go to Disney World. You know, I go there if I have kids. Right. If I have kids, I'll make the trip. You know, I feel like it's like one of those core memories that every kid wants to have.
Yeah.
But after that, like, no. But yeah, no, like really my only gripe with this whole thing is just like, yeah, I would have really loved to have seen this as a series. I think it would have been a lot better just because you could have fleshed out everything more, and the lore would have been super, because you probably spend one episode on just lore.
Oh, easy.
You know?
Easy, yeah, because it was, I mean, they glossed over the headless, Hatbox guy.
Yeah.
They just kind of glossed over. There's like a bunch of background, not even in the ride, Disney lore to that, where, you know, some of those things were like creations that, you know, were made that never got put into the ride.
Yeah.
But they all have like a little backstory. Like if you go through the Disney Museum, if you go like the above ground where they have like all the plans of the haunted house and the, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean before they were even built.
Yeah. See, I think that's what it needed, just because, like, you know, there's people like me who just like doesn't care about like Disneyland and like learning the lore of everything, and
then you missed 25% of the movie.
Yeah, you're like, I'm pretty sure this is for somebody, like, because I could see it, like, you know, especially with like the a lot of the ghosts had specific designs, and I'm like, well, this must be for like the people who rode the ride like 10, 15 times.
Oh yeah, and then they had like the director worked at Disneyland before becoming a director.
Yeah.
And so that was his favorite ride, and it was like so much stuff that he had put into this because he was such a fan.
Yeah.
It was like the angle of the house when they first drive up is the angle that you come around the corner in the line.
Oh.
So then they have like the house that the main part of the movie's in is that's the Haunted Mansion from Anaheim. But then the house where they go to get the hat, that's actually the
Haunted house.
haunted house from Orlando or one of the other. I think Orlando feels brickier, but whatever.
Yeah.
But it's the so that the way they have two of the different
houses.
It's a different house in each one of the 5 Disney parks.
Yeah, like I'll go to a Disneyland, like I'll go to Japan Disneyland just because, like, well, I'm not gonna be here again, so how often will I get to go to Japan Disneyland?
Yeah.
Or France Disneyland or whatever like that. So yeah, those are like the only times I'll ever go as an adult to Disneyland. But they'd be like, Sakura Blue, who's this guy? He's an adult. He has no car.
Yeah, but they did a. It's a super fun movie to compare to the rides.
Yeah.
And if you're a big Disney fan, like the walls rising, all the pictures, even like the wallpaper on the wall in the ride is the same as they used here. The little bat heads on the top of like banisters are the same from the ride. There's like so much.
Yeah, so this is like the movie really feels like this is for a movie for the people that love it, but then like because you do that, you also like alienate sort of the other people that just wanted to see, you know, like a nice family friendly Disney movie.
Right. Yeah. And then I didn't even really think about this till somebody else had mentioned it. One of the like kind of things I was watching. Really, an awful lot of the movie is about processing grief.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because you have the little boy who lost his father. You have Rosario Dawson who lost her husband. You have
Lakeith
who lost his wife.
Yeah.
And then you even have the
Harriet,
the ghost guy who had lost his wife and was doing all the seances to try to
bring his the movie is great for like trying to teach kids how to process grief or try to at least handle it.
Right.
You know, it's just like you get it. Like Ben's character, Lakeith Stanfield's character, is the forefront of it, just because you don't know like the father is dead. Because you also even get a call from Rosario Dawson, who's like calling somebody at the beginning of the movie, and you think, oh, maybe that's her husband or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And then like like Travis talks, he's like, I talked to my dad. So you're like, oh, okay, maybe they just got divorced or something.
Right. I totally. That's exactly what I assumed. Especially when he's like, yeah, I talked to my dad. You're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I'm your dad.
It's
now.
awesome that your mom lets you talk to your dad. That it's not like that kind of. But yeah.
Nah, if I see Lakeith Stanfield as a kid, I was like, oh, you're gonna go W RZA my mom right now, aren't you? Oh man, but we're getting up to our to the end of the episode. Want to thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out all our other little months down there. We have a bunch. We have stuff in space. We have Lady Fight Clubs. Right.
I was actually going to say that like the tomato thing on this, like certified, the Rotten Tomatoes. It got a 36 from Rotten Tomatoes, but it's got an 84 viewer score. That's a huge comparison. But we do have a month where we did all movies that were perfect hundreds.
Exactly. Well, the Rotten Tomatoes are me. are not Disney adults, and then the audience scorers are Disney adults.
and that totally makes sense because the people who would go to see this would be fans of the ride, and
Lakeith Stanfield
fans.
The
people who are giving it a critical review are movie critics,
movie buffs,
who are not necessarily park fans. So that really totally does make sense.
Yeah, because like I've always liked kid Halloween horror themed kid movies, because it kind of just reminds me of Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark, freaking Hocus Pocus was a great one,
right?
Under the Bed or whatever,
and it's been
Beetlejuice.
There you go. Right.
These are all kid horror films, and I kind of like them. I like them because they kind of it's like a horror movie light.
Yeah. And I mean, the original Haunted Mansion, the Eddie Murphy one. That one's super silly. that one they went really this is a horror movie for kids.
Yeah.
Where this one they left it light, but they they made it darker than that, and I thought
that was nice.
Yeah. I really liked that direction. It made it definitely more family friendly and not like a kids movie.
Yeah, but definitely check all our other months. But we do our reviews in 4 different sections. We have streaming, DVD, Blu-ray, and Ultimate Box Collection. Kobe, where are you at for this one?
I think I'm probably gonna go Blu-ray with this. I did enjoy this. I could see this being like a maybe not like the day of Halloween, but if we're doing like the 30 days of or 31 days of Halloween, this would be great. First week, kind of like let's work our way into the spooky stuff, and then then you get that last week is like the hardcore horror.
Terrifier 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because, if I was more of a Disney adult, I'd probably go Blu-ray. I do like all the actors in here. I do like I like the overall tone of the movie, because like you said, it was like there's things in there for adults, lessons in there for kids. The humor, I think, was like really well placed. Sometimes like the humor is out of place when they try to just like throw little jokes in here and there. But I think Owen Wilson and Tiffany Haddish were able to sort of insert like good moments of levity.
Right, it came natural. It felt natural.
Yeah, and all that stuff. And so I think those portions were fun. If I had a kid, maybe I'd probably put this on Blu-ray, because I could be like, oh, let's watch horror movie,
Right, yeah, you try to get them into it.
Yeah, try to get gotta get them young. Get these kids young into horror movies, but you gotta like ease them into it. You can't just be like, here's Terrifier 1. At 6 years old, I hope you can go to sleep. And then that night, I just dress up as Art the Clown.
Right. Just sit outside his door, staring in through the crack. Yeah.
Wait for him to come to sleep in our bed or something. Yeah, let's make sure you need therapy when you get older. Why is my child having night terrors? And then like my wife is like, I wonder why. Yeah. Dressing up like Art the Clown. But like just for me, I probably just go DVD. I like all the actors in here. I almost wanted a Blu-ray, but it's just like I don't know how often I'd watch it. I know for you went to Disneyland once a month every year. I don't have that.
Right.
I lived 15 minutes away from Disneyland when I was living in California. And I was like, I don't want it.
But it's one of those things. It's where you live.
Yeah.
Because I know, like...
Yeah, how often do you go to the strip?
I go visit, like, my cousin in Florida, and I'm like, every day we're got to go to the beach. And he's like, oh, goddamn ocean.
No, I actually love the ocean.
Here in Vegas, when people come in and they're like, let's go to the strip. You're like, oh.
No, I can't. Well, I love the ocean, though. I think I used to go every week for the ocean.
Okay, right.
I love swimming, especially in the ocean. It's like more fun than a pool.
Right.
Oh man, but thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out our links down below where we have all our socials.
And all of our
our socials we don't use.
Our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok.
As long as it's around.
YouTube, yeah. It's not going anywhere.
It's too strong. Too much money is on there.
Right.
But thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check everything, though. We really do appreciate you. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check it out as theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music for Podcast 3, and our Bandcamp is down below.